And I began to think about that, and I thought, that's the same requirement we have to be a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. We have to have some fluency in the language. What is the language of the New Jerusalem? Well, here the language on earth is doubt, and it's lack, and it's never enough, and it's everybody's out to get me, and nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I'm going to eat some worms. Probably only me and Brother Ronnie know where that came from. That came from a television show many years ago, Hee Haw. But that is the language of today's time. And sadly, it's even the language in the church many times. It's how bad things are, and how horrible things are, and how they're only going to get worse. And I know we live in the world, and things are not going to get better. But for citizens of the kingdom of heaven, we are looking up. And so our hope is not in what we find in this world. Our hope is what Jesus said. And so if I can encourage you to do anything, to take away anything from this morning, is to check your language. Make sure your language is a language of faith, not instead of saying how bad things are and how horrible things are, began to speak what Jesus would speak. Began to speak life into those dead things. Began to speak hope into those things that seem hopeless. Began to speak like we are a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. It doesn't mean that it's going to make it all better, but it changes the way you see things. It changes the way you understand things. It changes the way that your mind processes it. When your brain, when your ears hear you speak in faith, it changes the way you think. You may be sick, but your language says, I am the healed of the Lord. God is in the process of healing me. He is in the process of making me whole. You may be broke, but God is in the process of supplying all of my needs. I may never have $1 million in my sock drawer, but the Bible doesn't promise me that. What it does say, Paul told the church at Philippi when he was writing from the prison cell, he said, but my God shall supply all of your needs according to his riches in glory. And so faith doesn't walk around speaking lack, and faith doesn't walk around talking about how horrible things are. Faith walks around, faith is the language of heaven, and faith walks around saying how good God is, and how great the New Jerusalem is going to be, and how powerful of a God that we serve. That's the language of heaven. Let's get fluent in the language of the New Jerusalem. Let's get